Welcome to Esther's Universe. It's a magical place full of authenticity, creativity, and joy. It's where anything is possible as science and spirituality come together to teach you how to step into your power and raise your vibration. So together we can heal the collective and make a positive impact on the world. If you love the pod, please share it and enjoy. If you can feel that there is something inside of you that needs to come out and be expressed into the world, and you feel that you have a unique way of seeing the world, then I just want to encourage you to listen to that. I want you to just give yourself permission to fucking go for gold, because I look back on my life over the last couple of years and I've been doing things that I would never have even imagined for myself even 5 years ago. And it's endlessly exciting, endlessly fascinating. And everything that, people say about the manifestation journey, it all happens. Life got super weird before it got super amazing. And, it's so important to feel the feelings of the reality that you're trying to create, even though in your physical life around you, it's not quite there yet in the physical, but you feel in your emotions and in your energetic state of being and how you just feel every day. You switch into that and then it all starts to unfold around you. It all happens. And so I just want to kind of stand here like a beacon for you for a minute and be like, it's all going to work out. Keep going, go toward your dream. Don't ever limit yourself. Catch yourself when you're limiting yourself and be like, wait a second, am I playing it small right now? Am I trying not to stand out just in case I make other people uncomfortable? Or am I uncomfortable with myself? Do I not trust myself? I don't know, just ask yourself questions and then be like, would it be so bad if I just tried? Would it be so bad if I just put myself out there and fucking see what happened? And I think people are really scared of backlash and stuff like that, which makes sense. We have that innate survival mechanism in us that makes us want to be liked by others and everything. Makes a lot of sense. But we don't need to live by it, right? And so what if people disagree with you? You can just transmute that energy into something fucking amazing. Whether people are team you or not team you, it doesn't matter. You're still going to live and you're still going to have a good time and you're still going to make a beautiful impact on the world. So just try your best to be brave around those fears. All your fears are not going to go away and prepare you and everything just so you can kind of walk into these things. You got to walk into the things that you want to do with the fears. And then along the way, you realize that you never had to be scared of these things at all. Your biggest fears are usually what is between you and your absolute best life. The things that you dislike about yourself the most are usually the qualities that you'll learn to love so much and lean into. Literally, if you could use that as a way to speed up your journey, look for the parts of yourself that you are afraid of people seeing and then be like, how could I romanticize this? How could I make it part of the plot? Which also makes me think when people say embrace yourself, just embrace who you are, embrace all of life. That's basically just saying I'm going to look at the situation as it is and find a way to make it work in with my life in a way where it, doesn't stand in front of me, but it just comes along with me, part of me. And then you just don't complain about that thing. And that's it. That's you embracing it. So I'm feeling really pumped right now. I'm also really tired. I pulled an all-nighter last night to finish getting my course out on time, but I'm feeling so pumped because I only 3 weeks ago was with my friends and they were saying for the 100th millionth time, Esther, when are you going to put something out there to help people do what you did in regards to starting a business with no money behind you kind of thing, with hardly any resources, and starting a brand and putting yourself out there? And how do you set up the courses? How do you set up the podcast? How do you set up all the shit that you do? How do you connect it all together? How do you get past your blocks? How do all the other creators do it? And why is it that they're so confident and that I'm not? I have all the answers to those things. And so they were put it out, babe. You can't, it's just so easy for you. And I was oh my God, it's so easy for me. And then I was like, that's exactly what it is that I need to be doing. Like, we're meant to do the thing, especially just to land that quantum leap. We're meant to do the thing that is like our everyday existence, right? And like doing this kind of thing, turning ideas and thoughts and creativity into income that helps me and is also a really beautiful energy exchange that helps the person who is in that exchange with me. So it's super wholesome. And I take these things and I do this just so easily. I enjoy it. And I love helping other people do it too. I've helped my friends start businesses and brands and podcasts. Like it's like breathing for me. So of course that needs to be made available to people. Of course that's what I can focus on and put so much amazing energy into, but not get drained from. And not have to like hustle around because it's just so easy for me. So I, 3 weeks ago was like, oh yeah, I'm going to turn that into a course. This is my personality now. I'm just going to be that bitch for however long I want to be that bitch, because that's the bitch I am. So I'm just going to package her up and put her out there. I literally just took the exact nature of who I am and decided to turn that into a brand. The thing I like to do, just turn it into a brand. So over the last 3 weeks, I got asked for clarity from my universe self and had all this clarity come through of like what people needed. And I channeled through how I would put it all together, how I would promote it, all of that. It all just started pouring through, but it didn't just come through and then I actioned it all. It started coming through in dribs and drabs and I just started taking action straight away. And then when I took some steps, it's like I made space for the energy, and then more energy, which is basically the inspiration and the clarity would come through. And I was able to then take more steps and then more clarity would come through. So it's like me and clarity were doing this dance the whole time. Like I would take some steps, the clarity would come in. I would take some steps, the clarity would come in. So I just want to say that so that you don't get stuck in that loop of like, well, I don't know what to do yet. I can't start, or I'm not ready because I don't understand X, Y, Z. I don't fucking know what I'm doing when I do any of this shit, guys. I just figure it out. But I love figuring it out. And that's why I like to like turn things around and pass them on to you. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to enjoy the figuring it out part, but do try. And obviously, if you hate just figuring shit out, that's so fine. Like, that's why I make things for people to make it easier. And also, that's what we do for human evolution. We're meant to pass on our knowledge and wisdom to make the path easier for the people like a couple steps behind us. Then, like, everyone, it just like, it lifts the baseline of hard work. So next thing you know, like, if everyone was doing this in some decades' time, people wouldn't be in such a place of burnout. We would all have like a better, rock bottom wouldn't be so bad, you know? We're really meant to pass our wisdom on, truly. So anyway, I put out about 60 pieces of video content in the last 3 weeks. 60, like the courses, I made 2 courses. I was originally just going to do a podcast course and just make it super in depth about the mindset side. And then also like how to set it up, that kind of thing, how to do the graphics for it. And I was like, yep, that's the course I'm doing. It's like, and then I built that entire course, and I was building that entire course at the same time as celebrating 100 episodes on Esther's Universe. So while I was building that course, I was also filming the 10 episodes for the podcast and like having to edit them, structure them, get them out on time. Because I gave myself a time frame to work within, which really helps you get into that healthy masculine and like bring the energy through. And yeah, so that was wild. And then I was like, all of a sudden, just like, I think it was when the cyclone came, maybe I just had like a bit more time for more clarity. And I was just like, I want to give the podcast course away for free. I just have to. It's so important to me that people do this. And I would love to give like a beautiful offering that's like amazing, super high value, and just be like, if you love that, then you'll also love this other one. You know what I mean? Because then you guys, like, if you try it, you can like be like, oh yes, she knows what she's talking about. I can learn from her. And then you know that the course, the Freedom Pathway course, which helps you turn your ideas into money and like monetize your energy basically so that you can just get paid to exist, you would know then, you'd be like, that one's going to be lit. And then, you know what I mean? So it's like really nice. So I decided to do that, and that meant that I was going to build an entire other course in a matter of days. But that doesn't mean it's any less quality, because I've spent decades not decades, relax. I've spent a decade in this industry in general, and I have done this before. I've made the Theta app. I turned my ideas, my brain waves, my passion about meditation and rewiring your brain and your energy, and I had no idea how to build things made of sound things. Like I just did it, and I loved it, and it popped off, and the next thing you know, I put a ton more meditations out and put them into an app, and now I have an app. Like, I turned my brainwaves into money. What? That blows my mind. Blows my mind. And I just want everyone to do it. And like, we don't have to work hard. Like, the thing that we can do the easiest, so that's like, I can put this course out at top quality in like a few days because I have the know-how, I've got the skills. I'm not afraid of trying. I believe in myself. I believe in my capability. I have seen myself do this kind of thing before. So I'm like, yep, got it. And I did it. I got it out there. And yeah, it's just the thing that you do the easiest is the thing that you need to charge the most for, basically. I just want to say that. And the thing that you have to work really hard at, it makes sense that you don't get paid as much for that because obviously like you're still working it out yourself. And I'm not saying that you need to pay yourself or ask for lower prices in anything. Like, charge whatever you want for your things. But I just want to say that in a way where if you think that you're not ready to turn around and give your information to people, that's not true. You are ready, and anything that you can do super easily, you can share your perspective on how it is that you do that thing. You're not saying that you made the thing up. You're not saying that you're a fucking qualified teacher of the thing. You're saying, here's how I experienced doing this, and here is my method, and if you want to do it too, here it is. And then you just become its biggest cheerleader. You talk about it and you share it. And you get excited and passionate about it because it's something that you do and you love. Anyway, I'm feeling very grateful, very excited. Thank you so much for everyone who's been cheering me on with this as well. And if you arrive at this episode at some point in your life and you want to cheer me on, even if it's in the future, I will always love to hear from you. It really does help me with momentum when you guys reach out and when you're excited about the things that I'm doing and you back me and you want to invest in yourself and in what I'm doing. Like, thank you. Thank you so much. This is happening because I put myself out there, right? I was posting on TikTok. I didn't have many followers. My Instagram was like deactivated at the time for like a year. So I didn't have like a fucking platform going on Instagram or anything like that. And suddenly this video went viral on TikTok. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast like right now. Because I was like, I'm going to want to do something to make the world a better place. I don't know what it is yet, but I know I want to make the world a better place. So I'm going to make myself a better place first. And I'm going to capture that whole journey and talk about the whole thing on the podcast. And that's it. I was like using the momentum and the inspiration because I was like, I'm going viral. I'm getting all these interviews. I was like, why not, babe? Fucking go for it. So I started the pod. No one knew that I was doing it. I did not have a big following online. No one gave a fuck about what I was doing. But then I started this podcast and suddenly people gave a fuck about what I was doing because they were like, Rogue, cool. And some people will probably think it's ridiculous. There's probably definitely people who are like, oh, I don't know. But I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Because who cares? Why does that matter? It doesn't. If someone's not in my orbit, I don't fucking know about it. So I don't need to think about it. And neither do you. You can just begin the thing. Just start the podcast. Put your offering out there. Speak about the thing passionately. Do whatever. Just start living your fucking life. And I know that so many of you already are. Like, so many of you are like taking the leaps and the steps, and you're going through awakenings and you're experiencing new levels of intuition, and so much more magic is in your lives. And even though sometimes things are like hard, they're not hard in a bad way where it's like backwards anymore. Things can be tricky, but you still know you're going forwards. And like, good on you for being so loving and patient with yourself, and good on you for being there for yourself. Like, every time You do something to make yourself feel better, you are showing yourself so much self-love. Every time you go and do like a meditation on the Theta app, or you go for a hot girl walk, or you listen to music and have a dance, or you take some time to yourself and just journal, or you just sit the fuck down on Netflix and you watch something amazing and you curl up in bed at like 4 p.m, like whatever your version of like just doing something for yourself is, good for you. Keep it up. And I know sometimes it can feel so wild, like slowing down and choosing yourself over other people. It can feel a bit selfish, or it can feel like, oh my God, am I going to like just disappear? Like if I stop anymore, if I slow down anymore, like, but no, it's so wild. Like the less you do, the faster you go. It's actually so wild. Because at first to me, it felt like I was coming to an absolute screeching halt. It felt like I was like, I'm actually doing nothing. Like at this point, I was like, I'm just nothing. I'm literally like, I wasn't working. Money would come in every now and then because someone would be like, hey, can you promote these books on shadow journals and we'll pay you $1,000. And I was like, sure. I just did 2 little TikTok videos. I was like, cool. That was rent for that fortnight. See what happens next. Just because I was putting myself out there. And then I didn't need to like go hustle or do anything. I was just chilling, and it was terrifying for some of it. Oh my God, so scary. But then I learned to regulate my nervous system, and that was one of the biggest lessons. So if I could pass on some wisdom right now, just anytime you're like, oh my God, am I not doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Like, did I miss the opportunity? Did I not? And you're doubting yourself or whatever. Just remember that how you feel in your body is so important. And the way to make your body feel better is to regulate your nervous system. Because the nervous system is like it looks like a little, a really cool spider web almost going throughout your body. Comes down from like the back of your brain, from I think it's the medulla oblongata. And then your vagus nerve kind of travels down through so much of your body. And your arms and stuff, most of your back. And your nervous system's just communicating between your body and your mind. It's the brain-body communication link. And if you're paying attention to it and how it feels, like, are you feeling jittery and anxious? Are you breathing? Are you shallow breathing? Are you being like more conscious with your breath? Are you feeling like low-key doubt and beating yourself up and like you're like, okay, I gotta like do all these things and think about all these things and distract myself and da-da-da? Or are you feeling like, I'm so relaxed, I'm so like calm, I'm so confident, I trust that everything's working out? Like, how are you feeling in your body? And then do whatever it is that you need to do to calm all that down. Like just breathe and focus on your breath. Go for a walk, move your body, like do a meditation, go for a run, something like or just go find a friend and have like a laugh and just like relieve yourself and just express like sound out of your mouth and have chats and giggles and shit. Like that's such a relief after feeling stressful, is to laugh with a friend and stuff like that. So yeah, do little things like that to calm your nervous system down. Because when your nervous system is calm, your body is in a state of trust and surrender. And when your body is in that state of trust and surrender, you can have a way better time in life. You slow down with a lot more grace. Like you don't stress as much in the slowdown. You don't worry about like, am I meant to be doing something right now? You just know, you're like, no, I don't need to do anything right now. Because you know that then the energy comes through, the inspiration, the wisdom, the actual momentum, it all comes through for you. And if you're brave and you just act on it, you soar, you go so far, you just glide. And then when that's over, you stop and you take a breather and you trust that, you know, your universe self is taking care of all of the other mechanics that you can't really understand. And you took the action you needed to take, and then you just trust and you just keep regulating that nervous system. Just keep doing it. It's a practice. It took me from starting to actually try to regulate my nervous system and remembering to reminding myself every time it was dysregulated to regulate it again and again and again. And it started out that I was still mostly dysregulated, but had moments where I was showing myself what a regulation felt like. And then it kind of went 50-50. I felt like half the time I was regulated, half the time I wasn't. And then it was I was most of the time regulated, but then as soon as something a bit out of my control would happen, I would feel a bit dysregulated again. Or if I was in facing something that would be my expansion on the other side of a fear, I'd feel quite dysregulated and I would have to regulate again. But it's a practice. That's the thing. When you do it again and again and again and again, that's you showing yourself that you have the intention and the commitment to do it, the self-discipline to do it. And then eventually your body trusts you, and your body and your brain work together at the same kind of rate, and they're going in the same direction. They're no longer pulling against each other, because your body is scared that you have let it burn out. Your body is scared because there's been heaps of times when you just have ignored it and you don't listen to its cues. And so then your body's like, okay, well, I don't trust you. So when you're regulating your nervous system, you're essentially building a relationship with your body, being like, babe, you can trust me. I'm here now. And then your body's like, really? Prove it. And then you're like, here I am. And your body's like, okay. And then it's like, prove it again. And then you're like, I'm here. And your body's like, okay. And then eventually it just clicks. And like, you can still feel anxiety and fear and stuff. But you're like instantly kind of like, you notice it and you go, ooh, I'm allowed to feel this. You don't try and not feel it. That's the other thing with a regulated nervous system state and a place of trust and love and surrender and acceptance and stuff. Like, you're not stopping yourself from having the quote unquote lower vibration experiences. It's all part of it. Like, it's all part of it. Like, the highest vibing thing you can do is accept the low vibing things. Because then you're just like in complete love, acceptance, control of yourself, trust. Like, you're in the driver's seat when you're completely fine with the fact that you're experiencing something that's not peachy. And so there's like, you can be in the experience and also have total trust that this is not lasting forever. That's what it is. You just know, because you've gotten yourself out of it. You've regulated enough times that you know now that you'll be out of it. And so you're like, okay, I'm just feeling away. And you don't like make it mean everything. You don't identify with it. You don't think that you've done anything wrong. You don't think you're fucking anything up. You're not like beating yourself up and ruminating and like, what am I doing wrong? Like, oh, like, where's the... Oh. You just remind yourself that like, it's okay. You get out of it all the time, every time. You'll feel peace again in probably a moment, but just like let it be. And then you can, if it's still unrelenting, you can go into it and ask yourself, like, what am I really, truly, deeply afraid of? What's the absolute worst case scenario, the most dramatic thing that could possibly go wrong? Because that's what your nervous system's freaking out about, the most dramatic thing. And it's just so ridiculous every time, because you're like, I mean, I guess I could die from that if like literally everything worked against me. But then you look at your life and you're like, no one's going to let that happen to me. And you have to trust that. And because we live in such a way of society where it's like everyone's a bit like hyper independent, and we're all afraid of being a burden, and everyone's like, oh, I'm too drained. I don't want to have to fucking actually support another person in my community. But really, when you actually connect with your community and you allow them to support you and you ask people for help, and you kind of become an asset in other people's lives too. So it's this two-way exchange. You don't feel like a burden, and you work together on things, and it just like takes a load off and you feel safe. That's what it gives you. It's not even like you're asking someone to rescue you. You're not even asking someone to I don't know, take all your problems away. It's just like, can we all just experience some of life together and share updates and, have each other's backs if we need something and whatever, and just live life in that beautiful exchange. And that gives you the safety, this feeling of security wherever you are, no matter what's happening. Because when you talk to the most dramatic part of your fear, that sits inside when you're anxious, and it shows you like you're like, this is actually ridiculous, but you're like, yeah, I get why I'm terrified of that, but it's ridiculous. You know that people are going to have your back. No one's going to let you just fall away and become nothing. The only time that happens to people is because this might sound really cunty, and I truly do say it from a lens of compassion, understanding why people are like this. So I'm not even judging the people for being like this. It's just, they're in their own way. So 100% life can throw us some of the worst experiences sometimes, but it's how we respond to them. And people who end up, in situations that, let's just say an able-bodied person who doesn't have mental disabilities being homeless is usually coming from a place of like depression and which kind of and anxiety and everything, and that kind of can go into addiction and stuff like that. And all these things are very rooted around victimhood mentality. Very, very dense, very absolutely committed to that. Like, they don't want another life outside of that. Like, that's what they know, and they are being that identity with such fierce commitment that if they were to use that exact same level of intention to cling onto an identity but face it in the direction of being a millionaire, they'd be that instead. Like, because it's like, if you used to have a really strong victimhood mentality, like I did, like I always got myself out the other side of it, but I did sink really low into victimhood mentality about a lot of things for a lot of my life. And it seemed like unrelenting for so long, and I finally snapped out of it. It was amazing. But it was across so much of my life. But do you know what I learned? Like, when you're in a victimhood mentality, you're just so committed to that story, right? Like, you believe it through and through. You tell yourself that story again and again and again. You'll tell that story to anyone who will listen, and you want them to believe it too. And so, like, you convey the story in a way with all the emotion and everything that's behind it. And then that person's feeling that story for you. You're feeling that story. Like, that's manifestation at its finest, guys. Absolutely at its finest. So if you've ever felt like a victim about something, assess how you feel in like all kinds of different ways. Like, what are you thinking? How are you feeling in your body? How do you act when, you're feeling like a victim? And then take all those amazing powers that you got, but then just put a better intention behind it. So it's like, okay, instead of being like, oh, I'm disempowered by this, oh, I can't do anything about it, like, turn on the healthy side of your survival mechanism and go, all right, my life depends on me making this change. My actual fucking life depends on me making this change. I am making this change out of necessity to live the life that I have the potential to live. I am not going to accept a half-life. I am here to live a full existence, and my actual fucking life on this planet, which is so fleeting, depends on that. My experience here depends on me making the choice to become the empowered version of this reality. And so then you take that intention that you have with the victimhood mentality, you take that like commitment to the story, you take the bodily feelings, and you go, I'm supercharging this with love. I'm going, you know what? I fucking love myself. I deserve everything. I can think about how to get through anything. I will take whatever steps it fucking takes. And I'll trust that those steps will just get easier and easier and easier. Not harder. Easier. And they do. And so your survival mechanisms, like, humans have a fucking strong will to survive. And your survival mechanisms are the things that make or break you, right? So it's like your survival mechanism is keeping you in the victimhood mentality. It's keeping you limited, keeping you attached to these stories that don't serve you in so many areas because it's trying to keep you alive. It's out of fear of like, well, if I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that, I might die, so it's just safer to stay here. But really, like, you can use your survival mechanism in another way where you flip it on its head and you go, I'm not using this will to survive to stay here, because that is actually me allowing myself to kind of die inside and just wither away and have like a fucking mediocre existence and end up in a lot of like, I don't know, pain and have like a shitty elderly time. Or you can use this amazing fucking energy in the sense of empowerment, and you can go, oh my God, my actual survival is laid within my thriving. The better way to evolve as a person, to be safer, to be happier, to be healthier, is to move toward the things that I'm a little bit scared of. The things that intimidate you. The things that make you feel a little bit like, oh no, not me, I'm too tired to do that. You're not too tired to do it. The idea exhausts you. Just don't think about it, just do it. Thinking about the things that we don't know anything about yet because we haven't done them, but we want to do them, but we're too scared to do them, is exhausting. Well, only when you're thinking about it from a place of like, I don't really know what to do. But if you're thinking about it from a place of like, let me see the picture of it in my mind, because then I'll get some little hints on what to do, then slay. Very energizing, not exhausting, totally different vibe. Same shit, different vibe. That's another thing I would like to pass on to you. I say that a lot in life, because I'll like experience something and might have a feeling about it. And then I come at it from a more conscious place. And then it's the same thing, but it has a totally different vibration, thus a totally different purpose, and then a totally different result. And I'm like, whoa, same shit, different vibe. So I don't know. I don't really have any specific example to bring to you right now, but I just wanted to say that in case you find yourself in a scenario where you go, same shit, different vibe. It's just really interesting to notice, because then you can give everything a different vibe. You can change your perception about everything, especially yourself. Time to start seeing yourself as a beautiful, powerful, amazing person capable of fucking everything. And why not? Like, you can have everything you want. You can be a millionaire, and you can be conscious, and you can have all the money. You can do it all with ease. You can get paid to just do what you love. And you can have heaps of free time. You can go on holidays. You can be generous for all your loved ones. You can start all these businesses and get all your cool ideas out there. You can create whatever you want. Why not? You're the fucking universe, motherfucker. Shut up. Like, get out of your head. Just do some stuff. Take some actions towards things that feel like they're going towards your dream. You don't need to take action to just like hustle to try and like just get money in and like freak out. Like, move toward your dream. And if your dream requires a ton of money, then slay. Like, put something out into the world. Back it, put your energy and focus and love on it, make some money, expand as a person, and then use those resources to do even more beautiful things for yourself and the world, obviously. But the more beautiful things you do for yourself, the more the world benefits from your existence. Anyway, I love you so much. Check out my new courses that I have launched today. Congratulations, Esther. Oh my God, thank you. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of them. They're fucking good. Even just listening to me talking in them is going to change your energy. Dead ass. Like, if I put nothing else in there and I just yapped, that would literally change the way that you think and feel, and you would start taking different actions just from listening to me. The fucking energy in those videos is so potent. And the things that I'm saying, like, sit there and take notes. Like, literally, when you do the courses, because there's 2 courses. There's a podcasting course, and there's one about how to like turn your ideas into money. That's Freedom Pathway. And that one has a community group chat, not a group chat, a community Facebook group. Anyway, so when you're doing that, you need like a literally notepad and pen. But I don't want you to get like too hung up on writing down everything I'm saying, because there are like notes and stuff in the courses and everything. But more so just like write down the things that like really resonate with you. Like, if something sticks out, write that down. And you can like reflect on those things later. Or if I've said something and it's caused this like inspiration idea, write that down. Like, have your notepad and pen, because you might go off on like downloads, because basically the frequency is so high in the videos. So your energy is going to raise, like your vibration will raise just by listening. And because you'll be sitting there in my energy, and because my energy is such a magnetic energy, it's going to your energy. And then when you're in this like clearer state, you're going to have downloads come through, inspiration and stuff. So then next thing you know, you might be fucking cross-eyed at the screen, not even listening to me anymore, but you're having this like full-on download about something, like a vision, or your imagination's going wild about something. Like, write that shit down. That stuff's coming through for you for a reason. So expect a lot of that. And then also there's like, steps on how to do the stuff. How to make the podcast. How is it that I set up all the things and link them together and all that shit. But the mindset stuff, like the nervous system, the money mindset, the how to actually like get out of your own way, the fear of being seen, like, oh my God. There's just like the entire fucking self-development, spiritual development journey basically is within these things, because like I went through the entire journey doing these things. Like, every single thing I've produced has been a completely spiritual journey and a spiritual creation. Been amazing. Very proud. Very, very proud. I love what I've made. I back it. I fucking back it. 10 out of 10. So there's 50% off at the moment for the first 1,000 people to get the Freedom Pathway course, and the podcasting course is free. So when it depends when you listen to this, like maybe it'll be full price by the time you get there, but it's still fucking worth it to invest in yourself to then propel forward into that kind of future. Don't you reckon? I reckon. I'm going to go now. I'm actually going to sleep for like a week. I'm so tired. I feel like I just was in the biggest labor. I feel like I was in like a 36-hour fucking labor, and I just pushed out this giant baby. And now I'm like, okay, universe me, you can take care of this for a while. I'm going to go sleep now. So thank you for listening, and follow me on Instagram at Estes_universe, and check out the courses, check out all the things that I'm doing, and pop over on my social media and comment on some stuff, or say hi, drop into the DMs. I always love hearing from you guys, and I love you so much.